Hey everyone, thanks for joining us. And I'm really excited that you are taking some steps to improve your own health. That's always a good thing. And I'm even more excited that you're possibly looking at the LifeVantage product line to help you do that. I've been around it quite some time and absolutely love these products. And I was in a conversation with a gentleman I want to introduce to you here in a second around our products and what you're going to feel or maybe not feel after you take the products. And the conversation was so great, I wanted to bring that to you. So today I want to introduce you to Dr. Brian Dixon. He's a PhD and has spent many of his years studying molecular and cellular biology, with a focus on the underlying causes of aging. And I'm telling you, when I'm in the room with Brian, I know I am not the smartest one in the room. That is for sure. So, Brian, thanks for joining us today. I'm glad you're here, buddy.
All right, Brandon, it's a pleasure. I just really appreciate you having me.
So, you shared with me that we were talking about taking some of the product line. Many times, when someone feels something, they're excited about it. Sometimes, what they feel, they're not so excited about. And I know there is a detoxing effect with some of the products, specifically our cellular activation line. But you said when we were talking about detox, you had a little bit different point of view, and I thought it was fantastic. And I wanted you to enlighten us. So, people want to feel things when they don't feel the good stuff. Maybe it's a little gut issue, a headache. What's your thoughts on that with your background and study around this and knowing the LifeVantage product line the way you do?
Yeah, thanks, Brandon. I don't necessarily love the words detox effect. We do know that many of our cellular activation products are working to increase our body's natural detoxification response. So that detox is going to be going on. But the words that I think I like better than a detox response is something I call an adaptive response. And what I mean by adaptive response is it's just our body getting used to something new that's happening. So I think all of us can think back at a point in our lives where we've changed something up and then we felt something. And two great examples would be exercise, right? So if I go from the couch watching TV and just go out for a 5 mile run, you can bet I'm going to be pretty darn sore afterwards, right? So that's my body one not being used to this new program, but then I'm also going to be sore because I haven't adapted to an exercise regimen. We can say something similar about our diet, right? So if I'm eating just fast food all day, every day, and then all of a sudden I say, you know what, I'm going to start eating healthier. I start eating a bunch of fruits and vegetables, getting that fiber inside of my body. I mean, what's that going to do to your guts? It's gonna mess you up pretty good, and you're going to spend some time in the bathroom for sure. So it's just our bodies get used to it, right? So as we exercise more, we can go for a longer and longer run. As we're eating more and more fruits and vegetables, it doesn't mess with us at all, and we eventually start feeling better. So what's going on in most cases is, and it's also really going to depend on where somebody's starting from. So where are you coming from in this health journey? Are you starting from maybe a low place, or are you starting from a high place? And I think those people that really have some work to do on their health are probably going to feel a little bit more than somebody who's been a little bit more proactive in their health. And so this is why I like that word, an adaptive response.
The reason that made more sense to me, I do have an athletic background, and I know, like, when it comes to detox, as far as I'm concerned, like, I've done some detoxing in the past, and like, I don't want, like, I want that over as quick as I can get it over because it's not fun, right? But when you start talking about adapting to something, I just know that that's a longer period of time sometimes. Like you said, the run, like if I'm going to run 5 miles, it's going to take me a while to work up to that before I'm not sore anymore. So we're very impatient people. If something's not feeling good, we want it to be over immediately. So can you give us some insight if we are feeling some things that are not so fun? What might be the length of time to expect, and what are some things we can do in there to soften that a little bit?
Yeah, that's a great point. Just like if you start eating fruits and vegetables, that's not going to happen overnight. The exercise, it's a great analogy. It takes time for our bodies to adapt. And if you really, I'll go back to my molecular and cellular biology roots, but at our core, our bodies are incredibly lazy. They want to be lazy because they want to preserve uh, energy. Energy is expensive for our bodies, and so our bodies are really minimalistic. So that whole use it or lose it type of thing, it's exactly true in our bodies. So if we're not exercising, our body's going to rip muscle off of our bones because it costs our bodies energy to maintain that muscle. So when it comes back to taking products and how long might it take to feel something, again, I'll go back to the cellular route. But our bodies are constantly turning over, right? And people don't realize that. And so I'll put it in the aspect of how quickly things are turning over in our bodies. Because really, what we want to do is not only promote health in our cells that we currently have, but we also want to make the new cells that get put back in their place as healthy as possible. So, our skin cells, for example, turn over about every 28 days. Our blood cells turn over about every 3 months. um, let's see, our blood, we get a brand new blood supply about twice a year. So about every 6 months, our entire blood supply is turned over. And then something we think is even really static and permanent, our bones are turning over somewhere between every 10 to 12 years. So our bodies are constantly remodeling, and that's where that adaptive response comes back in. Now, of course, as we get older, that process starts to slow down. So as we age, those bones don't turn over as quickly. Our skin doesn't turn over as quickly. So I think it really does depend on how old somebody is, and how long it might take to experience those effects. But on that cellular level, it's that turnover and allowing time for that to happen to replace older cells with younger, healthier ones. That's where we're going to start to get that adaptive response inside of our bodies, and when I think we can start to be realistic in expecting results.
We tend to tell people, because I'm simple here, for every decade you're alive, you should probably give it a month. Like if you're 20, give it 2 months. If you're 30, give it 3 months. You guys get the point, right? And so I know I've always experienced in this process that if I'm more observant of my diet, I kind of up my water intake and make sure I'm eating as good as I can while I'm going through this process. It helps. Would you agree that that helps if you're more attentive to your diet while you're going through this period of adapting?
Yeah, see now who's the smartest guy in the room. I like that. Would you say about a month for every decade of life? I think that's a really reasonable length of time for someone to expect to really start to see things and see differences occurring. But yeah, of course, we need to do all of these healthy things in our lives anyway. We should be doing them. But definitely things we can do as well to maybe minimize some of the things we might be feeling. Man, just drink water. Drink water. So, like I mentioned, our activation line of products are going to help with that detoxification process that's going on all the time in our bodies anyway. And water is a major way that we're getting rid of the garbage inside of our bodies. And, forgive me if this gets a little bit crude, Brandon, but, we all have a built in hydrometer. So people always ask me, well, how much water should I be taking? And I don't like to give somebody 8 cups or 16 cups or a gallon. And because it's so different on our lifestyle. So if you're exercising, you're going to be using more water. If you live in a hot, humid environment, you're going to be losing more water. So every time you go to the bathroom, just take a peek. And what color is your urine? It should be white, clear to just slightly yellow, and that's the best judge on whether or not you're hydrated or not. So pay attention, and you should be going at least every 2 hours. Okay, so right there, you have built-in hydrometer. Pay attention, help support that. Another thing, when you're exercising, again, talking about this adaptive response, something else we need, and really where the regeneration is happening in our bodies, is when we're sleeping. So make sure you are getting enough sleep. It's just the most underrated thing that nobody's talking about. Um, sometimes I hear about people maybe getting a little upset in their stomach. So it can help to take the products with food, with your good healthy food that you're putting in your body. And then I know when we finally pull the trigger and we decide that we want to go on this health journey, right? Start exercising, we want to see results right away. We start eating healthy, we want to see weight loss right away. But that adaptation takes time. And so my best advice is just be patient, stay consistent. The products don't do any good in the bottle. So make sure you're taking them every single day and just be patient. It will kick in and you will experience what you're hoping to experience.